Yeah. Turn it up, let the radio blast. There's a movie, can't catch it on HBO Max.
Hello, people. It is I, the boy, reporting for duty, and welcome to yet another episode of the official Black Luvuna World. Well, first things first, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for viewing the videos that I've already posted. I know it's been like 2 videos and like one main one, but the love has been real, the support, and like guys, you've been liking the videos, you've been commenting. Some people have been able to like give me feedback through WhatsApp, through the comments as well, and I really appreciate, and I'm humbled by that. So as time goes, I'm only gonna get better. We're only gonna get better in how we share this knowledge. I haven't got to the wisdom part because we're coming to sharing wisdom, and wisdom has to do with God. But let's start here with the knowledge so that everyone is aware of certain things that they're really not aware of at the moment. One other thing that I got from you guys was how to like maybe incorporate certain things so you can reference. So in this video, I will have like some quotes that I'll be posting for like 5 seconds, so you can go and refer to those, and you can pause the video when we get to those parts, and you do the reference, you read up, and you continue. Well, for me, I would have edited the video, so it's not gonna be a biggie for me. But I'm gonna be talking about 3 things this week. 3 things from the same book. I have to say this, from the same book, because I thought I was just gonna do like the book, introduce it to you guys, and then move on. But I realized this book has so much that I feel like people really need to know. You can read it on your own, obviously, but why not break it down, because it makes things better. So it's gonna be how we are wired to win, how everyone is going through something, basically how life is not fair, and it's not about to start now. To be fair, it wasn't fair like 300 years ago, 2,000 years ago. It's been happening. Everyone has been going through something. And then lastly, it's gonna be how we can embrace uncertainty, because unfortunately we are like addicted to certainty, not uncertainty, and it's a distraction for us to be addicted to certainty. So first things first, being wired to win. As human beings, it's human nature, it's in our DNA, all of us, from the old days when it was just hunter-gatherers who were going out to hunt. We had like things that we were doing to survive, to thrive, to win. So it's in our DNA to want to win. So everyone is winning at the life that they have right now, believe it or not. And I know it sounds crazy. You might be thinking, how am I winning at this life when I have so many problems? Well, you are just manifesting exactly what you are thinking about most of the time. That's what you are manifesting. So our thoughts, the words that we speak to ourselves, are correlated, not just closely, but directly correlated to the law of attraction, the laws of manifestation. And those are things you can go on to Google, search it up, read about it. There are books written about laws of attraction. Go read about them. So I'm just gonna go straight to making an example about the winning part, how we are wired to win. So let's say you've been having bad luck in relationships. Well, bad luck, or you've been just telling yourself you have bad luck. Depends on which perspective you want to look at it from. So yeah, you've been having bad luck. Basically your relationships are not working out, whether it's friendship or a romantic relationship, and you've arrived to a point where you tell yourself, maybe I'm not meant to be in a relationship, maybe I'm not lovable, maybe I'm not worthy to be loved, Maybe people, don't really deserve me, or I don't deserve people. Whichever way you justify yourself for not being in a stable relationship, whether it's a friendship or a romantic one. So take an example and say someday you meet this one person who really sweeps you off your feet, and you start liking the person. You go and talk to them, a few weeks go by, you go on to their dates, and you really get to know the person, and you start liking them, and as time goes by, you guys really make it official. You start dating, you start having the relationship that you always wanted when you first saw the person, because you were initially just attracted to them. Now you know them at a deeper level. Now you are dating them, but because of all those other failed relationships, and because there is experience, and you know what happens with experience, it gets registered in your brain that I've went through something like this. Now that you are in this relationship, from all those other ones, you start thinking the person maybe is not gonna stay with you for long. You start having these bad thoughts. You start making big issues out of small things. You start creating arguments because it's like a trait from all those previous ones that have failed. You are bringing it into this one, and you're not even recognizing it. And I usually call those insecurities. And for me, insecurities it's things that I recognize that there's a root cause for them, and I need to go to the root to find out, why am I feeling this way? Maybe growing up I wasn't really loved. Maybe I saw my parents in a relationship that failed. It could be a lot of things that trigger that, but you should recognize when you've allowed things that are outside factors to get into your brain and start controlling how you think and feel. So eventually, when you start thinking like that, you start making issues out of small things, you start fighting over small stuff. You guys are gonna go eventually to a point where the relationship dries up, and you're not really communicating that much, and eventually it ends. And believe it or not, you just won. You are just a winner. You deserve a Nobel Prize for that, because you have allowed how you feel and what you think from your perspective to then control the narrative of everything that is happening in the relationship. That's why it ended. That's why it was never going to survive. And sometimes for some people, they still go for the same kind of personality and people that they went for the last time, because you might find out there's nothing wrong with you, but it's the people that you're choosing constantly. They are not the right people for you, but because it's something that you are familiar with, you tend to get attracted to that kind of personality. There's a show I used to watch. It's on MTV 130 on DSTV. That channel, it's Are You the One? And what they do there is they take like 10 guys, 10 girls, and put them in a room together. And in this room, or from these 10 girls and 10 guys, each and everyone has their perfect partner, someone that complements them, not someone that maybe you might go for on a regular day, because it's not what you would say, like, I like this. Some people are addicted to drama. They like someone who has drama, and that's not good for you, because every other relationship that you've been in where there was drama, where has it gotten you? Nowhere. You've only failed. So you've only been manifesting one thing, a failing relationship, but it's based on what you like. And sometimes what you like is not aligning with the facts, or how you feel doesn't align with the facts. And that's just how it is. So in that house, people would maybe still go through like maybe 4 partners before they get to their right partner, because they'll still be attracted to these things, these little traits from the previous relationship, something that they liked about their previous partner. And you are there to find someone that complements you, that makes you a better you. So that's something that I felt like it was a good exercise for people. Just that, in real life, in reality, there's something that is hard, but it's easy at the same time, because once you've been in too many relationships that have failed, you should be able to recognize from the word go that this is the kind of personality that I've been seeing from these people. Now let me go for something different, which is something that is scary for everyone, to try something different. But that's exactly what we need to do to train our minds to think differently. You do something different. That's how you initiate that. That's for the relationship part. Not all of us have these wins in relationships, these bad winning streaks. It's not relationships always. Sometimes it's just people who are procrastinating. Maybe you're a person who waits up until like the deadline is here, then you start doing the work, and you are proving to yourself every time that you are lazy and you are a procrastinator. And that's just how it's gonna happen every time. If you want to lose weight, if you're not gonna look after your diet, go to gym, or start adopting healthy habits, you're not gonna lose weight, because you have submitted to those kind of behaviors that are only making you gain weight. So to change that, do the opposite. And that is something that is really, really hard, to do the opposite of what you usually do. If you usually submit work at the last minute, why not do the work when you just got it? Why not do the work when you just got it, so you can finish it up? I bought my diary for reference, because I don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure everyone is well informed about this. Because the only way to shift a paradigm, to shift it, you need to be aware of what's happening. So awareness creates the demand for then trying to, shift the paradigm. So it's really, really important that you start self-introspection and look at the areas that you are winning at, your problem areas, things that you keep on manifesting, that keep on happening to you. It's not something that is far-fetched, something that is within you, it's in your brain. It's because you think about it so much. It's happening, and you can't stop it. It's happening. So the first quote that I'm gonna include here is a quote that speaks about happiness, and how that is just aligned, or it's directly in line with your thoughts. So it reads, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." Then it goes on, but I'll just drop it here for 5 seconds. You get to read it, and you get to know about it. And then we go on to how everyone is going through something. So often in our lives, we be going through things, and we feel like it's the worst, or no one is going through the same thing. And trust me, the fact that you are there watching this, the fact that you had a meal on your table this morning, that means you have less problems than the rest of the world. In fact, I would argue that just step outside, look at your neighbors, or go to town, Look at the life of the people who are there. Do you believe your problems are much bigger than theirs? Do you really believe so? But I know that doesn't make you feel better, because our problems are real. At the same time, you are still going through it. It still hurts. It's still stressing you. It's still really, really putting you off the edge every time it's happening. But sometimes we go through problems and troubles in life and we attach so much significance to them that we don't realize that, it's just something that we're gonna eventually overcome over time. But we allow ourselves to be in that box, incarcerated by our thoughts, thinking, I'm never gonna get out of this. Life is too hard. Or I'm done with this. And you might be saying those things to yourself and thinking that's how reality is. Believe me, that's just a perspective from your standpoint of view. That's just your perspective. It's not really the reality of life as it is. Life has been hard since way back. It never really got easy. There's a quote by Socrates, who was a philosopher around 470 BC. There was years ago. Do you understand how long ago that was? That's more than 2,400 plus years ago. But there were problems then. And understand, back then there was no technology. There wasn't this much high level of medicine in terms of development. A lot of things hadn't been, into reality back then, but there were already problems. So the fact that you are going through something right now means it's way better than the problems they had back then. And I'm dropping the quote just now. You'll read it and stop the video for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Take your time, read it, and continue. I hope you did stop the video for 5 seconds and you read it for yourself. If all our misfortunes were laid in one common heap, whence everyone must take an equal portion, most people would be condemned to take their own and depart. Meaning, if we were to do an experiment, take all our problems or our bad lucks and we just commonly just put them in a group and we lay them there and we say everyone take an equal portion. You don't have to take yours. Take an equal portion though, whether you're taking that person's problems or that person's problems, but take an equal portion. Everyone would be happy to go in that pile of problems and take their own and leave, because to an extent you are understanding that you are not going through it in the worst way. Someone else has a worse experience. Someone else is going through a problem 10 times worse than the one that you are going through. Some people right now got laid off their job. Maybe their spouse is filing for divorce. Maybe they just wrecked their car. Or maybe all three are happening at the same time. Sometimes you might be going through something minor, like you just lost your t-shirt, your favorite one, you broke your glasses, or you burned dinner. Those are still problems. The thing is, when these negative things start happening, they start spreading in all areas in our lives. And that's when we start being overwhelmed by the feeling of, this is too much, or, my life really sucks. But your life doesn't really suck. You just need to take a step back from everything. When you are going through it, you need to take a step back. Get a bird's eye view on everything. Don't be too, invested in it, and sometimes that's why we be feeling the way we feel, because sometimes we are too invested in that thing that is causing the problem. We are too attached to it, we just too into it. So you need to take the step back, way back, and look at the problem for what it is, not what you think it is, because there's a difference. When you are in it, you'll be looking at it from a perspective of what you think it is. But if you were to get someone else to really analyze your problem, they will tell you the problem for what it is, not what you think it is. So it's up to you. It's either you take the step back and analyze it, or you get someone else to give you like advice. Either way, it works. So just look at life and think of it as a railroad track. That's for like trains. You know how a railroad works, or how it goes. Basically, it goes through tunnels, it goes down into valleys, it goes up around mountains, it goes down, plunging down canyons. It goes along the sea, along the coastal sea lines. It's always going up and down, sideways, and that's just how life is. But if you look at it and you say this is life, you look at the railroad track and you just take it as life. Now you look at the left-hand side. The left-hand side is the past, the things that you've went through. Look at how it has been going down, up, and everything that has been happening, you've been able to go through it. Like the good times, the bad times, and some of your worst problems today, they don't seem that significant because you were able to overcome. Then when you look into the right, the right-hand side is your future. Those are things that you're still going to do. The circumstances that you're still going to go through. And when we imagine the future, we are always looking at it in a beautiful way, that we want to do these good things. Maybe you still have to graduate. Maybe you still want to buy your first car. You still have to buy that first house for your mom or for yourself. You still want to travel with the family. You still want to get married. Those are things that get you excited about the future. But understand, getting there is just going to be as hard as getting to where you are from this side to the present. And life is not fair, not only for you, but for everyone else. So it is up to us to then take charge and say, I understand I have problems, but I'm going to work my way out of this and make my situation better. And it's all up here. Unfortunately or fortunately, the mind is so powerful, or it's its power to not be conquered. But it's its power to not be conquered by external sources, not by you. You have the power to cultivate it. You have the power to develop it. So take that power back and stop giving it to people, external sources, to try and inflict certain things into your brain and thoughts that are really, really not working for you. And, the sooner you realize the things that are problems in your life that are setting you back, things that are bad luck, if you would say so, the sooner you get to start changing your way of doing, your way of thinking. Because like I said in the last episode, our feelings are triggered by our thoughts. So the more you start to have healthy, positive thoughts, the more you start to live a healthy, positive life. But if you still have like bad habits and bad thoughts, you're still gonna be living a negative life filled of negative things. It's not gonna really, really work for you. So now I'm gonna go on to talking about uncertainty.